Roma Dunze at 9. Firepower all of a sudden in Chi-Town. Caleb going full Thanos mode. You like that, Dust? To be the greatest or to be able to sit at the table. That's his goals. My last goal, immortality.
That's kind of a new thing, right? People trying to live forever.
Yeah,
A lot of rich people.
immortality, coach.
Yeah.
Not just winning a few games, playing some clean football. Immortality. The only way to reach that is winning championships, plural, coach. Not a typo.
It's the draft.
He's talking about immortality.
That's what these days.
Not to you.
Okay.
Coach, your reaction?
Oh.
Say less. Say less. Why? Why are you doing this? Why? Why
it's the best day of his life.
Okay, and it might be the worst day of his life when everybody goes back to him and says, "Hey, remember when you were reaching for immortality? Why don't we reach for a winning season? Okay?
That's not.
There hasn't been one of those in Chicago in 6 years. Why don't we?
I'm actually going to agree with Nick right here, and based off his reaction, which is funny because now I'm going to go be 2 for 2 today about agreeing with Nick.
Why don't we reach for that? Why don't we reach for being a leader in the locker room? Why don't we reach for having a level of success? Do you know what the quarterback success rate is for first-round quarterbacks? Since 2011, right, when they finally went to the new CBA, so there's been 41 quarterbacks drafted, one's won the Super Bowl in the first round. So 41 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, one's won the Super Bowl, and that's been Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
3 others have gone to the Super Bowl.
Well, in fairness, since 2011,
hold on
only
a second.
like 4 guys have won Super Bowls. Brady and Mahomes win them all.
Why, Caleb? Why don't we work on? Let's get to the Super Bowl.
Okay. No, you wouldn't have liked that either.
No,
you wouldn't have liked that either.
I'm just saying, maybe we can start with maybe
I'm just looking
start
for
that
tomorrow.
is not what
I want to throw the football tomorrow better than
Right, man.
I do today.
Exactly right.
Yeah, right.
I want to throw the football tomorrow better than I do today.
Exactly right.
Exactly. That's that whole thing of just get better, you know, 0.5% every day, and before you know it, that's definitely like kind of coach speak, and I get it. You know, and I'm gonna let the rest of the clip play, but this is just a funny moment, because I'm not a big fan of, you know, talking trash or coming in with all this like, you know, top level confidence of like, we're gonna win, we're gonna be champions, we're gonna be this, but that's not what Caleb is saying. They're asking him like, you know, what do you want out of the NFL? Like, what are your hopes? What are your dreams? What are your goals? And he's saying, like, my goal is to win championships. My goal is to be one of, if not the best quarterback to ever play in the NFL. That is what I'm after. That is what I want to be. That is what Mahomes wants to be. That's what Brady wanted to be. That's what Peyton Manning wanted to be. That's what LeBron James wanted to be. So I don't think there's anything wrong with what he's saying. Because they didn't say, you know, what are you going to accomplish in the NFL? And he said, I'm going to be the best quarterback to ever play in the NFL. I'm going to win multiple championships and I'm going to be immortal. That's not what he's saying. They're saying, what are your goals? My goals? I want to be a millionaire one day. Okay. It's not saying that I'm going to be a millionaire and everyone's going to laugh at you if you don't make it. It's like, that's what my goals are. My goals are to be the best I can be. What do you want him to say? Mangini wants him to say, what are your goals? Oh, you know, just to be a good leader and, you know, win some games and have a winning season. You know, that's a short-term goal, sure, but that's not what they're asking him. They're saying, you just got drafted, you're the number 1 overall pick, this is the best day in your life. What do you think? What is going through your mind? And he's overwhelmed, he's joyous, he's excited, he can't wait, and in his mind is, okay, it starts now. My path to becoming one of the best quarterbacks ever starts now. I am ready, I am focused, let's go. And it's funny because this is where it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if he wasn't that focused on being as great as he could, and he wanted to play video games, or he wanted the lifestyle, where he wanted the jewelry, and going out to the clubs, and the drinks, and the girls, and the guys, and whatever the heck he's interested in, like, then it would be like, well, you're not serious, you're not focused, you're not motivated, you're not this, and it's like, his goal is, I want to be the best, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that. That's all you can ask for from any pick, let alone your number 1 overall pick. So, I mean, I think this is a good answer. But again, I also do get giving a more humble answer. I'm not saying that this wasn't humble, but a more reserved answer is what I mean to say. Because it reminds me of when they asked Steph Curry. And Steph Curry wasn't heavily, you know, scouted to a degree, right? Like, he wasn't coming into the league with this idea of he was going to be the best shooter ever. So it's definitely different. But they said, where do you, and they asked him a very specific question. They said, like, where do you see yourself in like 7 years or something? And he's like, well, hopefully I'm still in the league. So I do appreciate that answer as well, because he wasn't like, where do you see yourself in 7, and I don't know how many years it was, but they're like, where do you see yourself? And he wasn't like, I'm going to be the best shooter ever, and I'm going to win multiple rings and this, that. Like, he didn't give that answer, which again, I actually really do respect that answer. But that's a different one. That's like saying, where are you going to be, not what your goal is. So, it can kind of work both ways. I just don't think. And again, I've actually called Caleb Williams out before for clapping back and, to criticism and kind of talking too much. And I said, like, no, don't do that. And with this, like, I don't have a strong issue with at all, especially within the context of the moment and how, and the wording also specifically. It's like, these are my goals, like, this is what I hope to achieve, just like a lot of you want to achieve big things.
Hey, Drew. No, no. So these extreme or the options are: hey, throw the football better tomorrow, or immortality.
Guys,
there's nothing in between.
No, what I am saying is this is
levels.
unfair because the kid that the Lions traded up for, was it Terrion Arnold? Terrion Arnold. He takes the microphone. He says, "In Detroit, you got a star." Everybody. I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of guys, when they're drafted, that day talk about winning championships. Yeah. That is what they talk about.
Lamar said
it doesn't make it right or good.
Okay, okay.
Just because one makes a bad decision, it's like
it's not a bad decision.
Just because your friends are making bad decisions,
it's not a bad decision. And what I'm telling you is, when Patrick Mahomes was drafted, is the first thing he said, I just want to be better tomorrow? And no, it wasn't.
What did he say?
I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't, I'm chasing number 12, baby.
Okay, but
I'm going to live forever.
Guys.
Okay.
I think we're being unfair.
Slow down.
And also, I would just take the scrutiny off Caleb. You can put it on me if you want.
He put the scrutiny on himself.
He's the number one
That's the
pick.
point.
It seems like a lot. You won't say it seems like a lot.
Okay, what did LeBron? Hold on. Let me ask a question.
Seems like a lot.
Okay, what was Brew? You were there. What was LeBron saying when he was drafted?
He said when they come to, as I was there, I was a few feet away. When they come to Cleveland next year, it's going to be lit up like Vegas. I was going to use LeBron as an example. He had the chosen one.
Exactly.
Tattoos.
But he was.
Commercials
He was
with
amazing.
Dr. J. Well, that's look.
Right. We don't. Caleb's pretty damn good.
Caleb's LeBron in the
I don't
NFL?
know, but I'm saying as a
I doubt
prospect,
that.
he's a consensus number one.
He was saying because Cleveland got him, they were going to be excited and light it up. And Cleveland, they would.
It was lit up.
Yeah, it was lit up.
I'm not going to kill him. And which might surprise you because I kill the Cowboys when they talk Super Bowl. Yeah. That's the owner, and he's been doing it for nearly 30 years and no success. All right. So, look, when Trevor Lawrence, coach, went the opposite way, football, I can take it or leave it. It's true. People kill him, right? So, but here's what I'll say. Here's the
bad decision. Bad decision.
Here's what I'll say, though.
How about a good decision?
It's on Caleb. And I don't mean just because he's making these grandiose statements. They got a good squad. Like, they got Rome Duze yesterday. They already had a couple good receivers with Keenan Allen now.
DJ Moore.
DeAndre Swift. Like,
and the defense was good after they got
better. I still got questions about the defense, but it got better.
They're going to be awesome.
It's a tough division. That's the challenge. But my point is this. When you look at their roster and what they did last year at the end of the year, it's just like, if Caleb Williams is pretty good, they're going to be in the playoffs or close.
Yeah, they got a chance to live forever.
All right. So
if they are, it's on him. So
I agree with that.
He's got to deliver.
I agree with that. So there's two things. One is, I just wish that we could be fair enough to say, after the greatest moment of your life, once you are in the building, once you're at OTAs, then let's ratchet down the grandiose big picture stuff. But if in that moment, if the moment someone opens their letter of acceptance to Harvard Medical School, they say, I want to be the greatest surgeon who ever lived, I am not going to be like, oh, Why don't you focus on your midterms first, kiddo? Like, no, it's an exciting, great moment. Now,
Well,
you can then...
when they start covering it on TV, people
Okay,
opening up this
that's-
stuff at Harvard
oh.
for how many millions of people, then maybe we could talk about that.
But they're going to cover the other stuff too, and we'll see how he talks. Now, but I will set what my expectations are. I think the Bears are going to win 10-plus games next year, and I would be shocked if by the end of his third year, he is not considered the best quarterback in his conference, and I would bet money that before the end of his rookie contract, they play in a Super Bowl. That's my expectations for the Bears.
Well, I'm sure you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to start. We're not going to turn this video into let's unpack, what the expectations are for him. We'll save that for a million other videos leading up to the game one, because that's what everyone's going to talk about. Expectations for Caleb Williams' first season, expectations for week one, expectations for week 6, so I'm not even going to do that now. But yeah, just to really emphasize, I really don't think that there was anything truly wrong with what he said, especially depending on how the question what was asked to him and the way he phrased it. And they're saying like, oh, now all this is on him. It already was all on him. So he's not putting undue pressure. He didn't say the first season, we're going to win a Super Bowl. What's your goal? We're going to win a Super Bowl. But I bet you his goal is, you know what? Rookie year, I want to get to a Super Bowl. I want to be the MVP. Like, I want to ball out. I want to have the best season any rookie has ever had. CJ, it was Justin Herbert, and then it was maybe CJ Stroud, depending on how you want to look at it. And, now he's thinking, I want to have instant success and get to a Super Bowl. I want to shock the world. That's what he wants to do. That's what everyone wants to do. You don't think LeBron James wanted to win MVP and get in the NBA Finals his rookie year? Of course he did. I'm not saying it's I'm not saying these are realistic goals, but in your mind, you're like, let's go. I am ready. Let's go. These are just goals / dreams. And, there is a difference between a dream and a goal. And so I would say, it's an interesting thing with these athletes where they're in the rare situation, and not all athletes, only a select few, actually have the ability to achieve their dreams. That their dreams can become goals. Because goals are, I have a goal of, I have a goal of making $200,000 a year, right? It's a goal that could technically be achievable, right? I have a goal of buying a house within the next 5 years, right? That is a goal. Again, achievable, technically all achievable goals. And then you have dreams that are usually pretty unlikely. I have a dream of having a $10 million salary. And I have a dream that by next year, I'm going to own 10 houses because I'm loaded and I'm buying houses all over the place. Switzerland and Jamaica and Florida and California and Paris and, everywhere. It's like that's my dreams, okay? Not my actual dreams. I'm just making stuff up, right? It's not very realistic. But it's nice to have dreams, right? We all have dreams. When you talk about someone like a LeBron James, like a Caleb Williams, like a Patrick Mahomes, these are the rare people who actually achieve not only their dreams, but the dreams of like everyone else around them. And I think it's hard for some of these other guys to really understand that because they have never been as great at anything as LeBron James has been at basketball, Caleb Williams at football, Michael Jordan. I can name all, obviously, the greats. And so it's hard that you're looking at some Mangini's looking at that and being like, what a ridiculous statement to make. And I get where he's coming from to a degree, but it's also like, Mangini, man, you're not good at anything in your life that's even relatively close to how good Caleb Williams is at football. even if he doesn't achieve greatness in the NFL, he's still better. And you know what? Listen, maybe one day Nick Wright will become the greatest, broadcaster, commentator, whatever he's technically, theoretically considered in the history of the, of media, right? Technically a possibility. Then you could say, okay, but that's unlikely. No matter how amazing you think any of these guys are, I don't even know who is even considered to be the greatest of all time currently now. We could say people like Stephen A. Smith or this or that, but like, just because you're the most famous or make the most money or whatever doesn't mean that you're technically the best. We have a lot of people who make a lot of money who are very successful who are clearly not the best in life. So I just think that when you're talking about with some of these athletes, they have the rare ability to actually achieve dreams and not just goals. So their dreams become goals. And their goals are to be the GOAT. Right now we are definitely in a time, because Patrick Mahomes so quickly got into this GOAT conversation with Tom Brady, it feels achievable. It feels like, hey, listen, Patrick Mahomes is now fighting Tom Brady for the GOAT status. Now a new quarterback like a Caleb Williams is like, hey, I want to get in that hunt. We can all let's get in that hunt, let's go. So to me, it just makes sense. It really, really does. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you think? What do you think about Caleb saying that his goal is immortality and that he wants to win many championships? Let me know in the comments below. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I read every single comment. So let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. Thank you so much. See you next time.